10 tips, 10 days. You really are your brand. So I'm going to be talking all about brand building. And today, tip number one, da da da, is all about making a good first impression. How do I figure out who you are? Is by your title. And as sucky as that is, it is the truth. People need to be able to search for you. And once they find you, they need to immediately, within 3 seconds, get a good picture of who you are. And if you want to, you can add a little bit of personality to get them interested in learning more about you. But the bottom line is your title is your first impression and it should speak for itself. So what can a good title include? I'd like to argue that a good title can include up to 5 elements. It does not have to, but it should include a minimum of 2, a maximum of 5. So what are those elements? Number 1 is your actual job title. And I know I hate that because I hate labels, I hate titles myself, but it is the best way for people to know who the heck you are. So what does that look like? If you're straightforward, like you are a senior editor at LinkedIn or a product marketer at Amazon, that's more than enough for your title right there. And those are 2 elements because you include your title and you include your company name. If you work for yourself, you may want to put founder or CEO at, and then put your business name. Or startup founder at whatever, because people do search for you by that. But you don't have to put your company name because honestly, people won't recognize it. So unless you are a mid-sized or larger startup, if you're just a consultant or a coach, you don't really have to put that. In that case, and that's what I decided to do, is you put what you actually do. So instead of saying CEO or founder at Krista Molione LLC, which is my company, I chose to put product marketer and growth strategist because those are my specialties and those mean something more to people. If I just put my title like founder at Krista Inc. or whatever, no one would know what that actually means unless they would read more. So that's why I chose to do it that way. So make sure you put either your work title or your specialty, what you want to be known by, and your company is optional, but could be important. So if you work at Amazon, I would definitely put Amazon because people will be searching for employees who work there. So that's your company title, your specialty, your company, and then a website. So if you have a website, which not everyone does, but I highly recommend you consider getting one, I always like to put it because if somebody comes across your profile, they like your content, they're going to Google you. And what better way than to tell them, hey, go to my website. You can learn a lot about me there. And the 5th element is something personal. And this is fully optional. I've seen great profiles that are just the title and the company, and I've seen great profiles that have a bunch of private stuff included. What could be a good thing to add would be if you have a podcast, I think that's worth mentioning. If you have a book or you have multiple books, I think that's worth mentioning. And if you have a hashtag, a personalized hashtag you want people to follow. I've also seen people get creative and just add other things like, dog lover or dad. I'm not against that. The question you should ask yourself is this really the thing that I want people to know most about me when you've only got 160 characters to type something in, right? And once you have a really good title, I recommend that you be consistent more or less across all platforms. What that means is you should go to all of your socials and all of your online profiles on different platforms and make them pretty much the same. Because if I search for you on LinkedIn and I find one thing, but then on Twitter it says something really different, that's going to create brand confusion. So make your first impression count. Use up all the maximum characters you can, but you don't have to. Just use them wisely, okay? And then try to make them consistent. And remember, different platforms have different lengths. So LinkedIn will be longer than Twitter. Instagram will look different. So really just be very strategic about that, because that is your first impression. If you have more questions, follow me, because I'm going to be talking about this over the next 10 days about your branding. Take care, guys, and be awesome.